Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of Inside the Dome. I'm John Dodaro, and we have a special episode here. It's WrestleMania, the aftermath of WrestleMania, and this is too big to put in an Under the Lights episode. As you saw last week when we did our WrestleMania predictions, yeah, that took up over an hour of our Under the Lights episode, and we had to speed run through everything else for the last 20 minutes. So this is getting its own episode. There will still be an Under the Lights episode this week, but all of this had to be its own episode. I'll even put this on YouTube as well. So, because it's that big of a deal. It's WrestleMania. It's the biggest event in WWE, and we cover WWE on this podcast. So, yeah, it's like the Super Bowl. And then some for wrestling fans. It just happened this past weekend. Carla and I watched both nights together. We did our predictions. I know Carlin wasn't here for the predictions, but he did his off screen, so I'll be able to say those as well while we do this. So this will essentially be me going over everything that happened in WrestleMania, what I liked, what I didn't like, for both nights as well. I could have split it up, but I didn't. This is also being recorded before me watching the Raw after WrestleMania. I have not watched the Raw after WrestleMania yet. I intend on getting this episode out before Tuesday, anyway, before the Raw after WrestleMania even airs. So, yeah, I have not seen anything. So anything that happens on the Raw after WrestleMania, I do not know. So if Roman's first challenger is announced, I don't know. If Cody and Randy have any fallout on the Raw after WrestleMania, I don't know it. So that's your warning. If you guys are listening to this on Tuesday or beyond, I have not seen the Raw after WrestleMania. This is strictly a WrestleMania review. So not even considering anything else to this. So WrestleMania 42. If you've been listening to this podcast, we've been hyping up WrestleMania, whether it's at the end of the Under the Lights episodes and its own separate episodes. We've been hyping up the road to WrestleMania. And the road to WrestleMania has been very uneven, to say the least. It's been a very uneven road. There have been some good builds. There have been some mediocre builds. There have been some questionable builds, such as Pat McAfee being involved in the Cody Rhodes Randy Orton match. I mean, even just after the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre was still the champion. And then we got all the way to Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee. Liv Stephanie's been a good build, but how'd the match go? Jade Rhea's been uneven. Roman Punk has been pretty strong for the most part. Trick Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes being removed from the entire situation of the United States Championship. That didn't go well with fans. Finn getting even a match with CM Punk on the road to Mania. And where did that even lead up to? Oba Brock, which I think has been one of the highlights of the WrestleMania build. Everyone's loved Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. How did that match go? Gunther Seth, that was random to say in the last 2 weeks. The women's tag match, Jacob Drew, I Show Speed. I think there were definitely ups. There were definitely downs. But all that matters at the end of the day is how does it transpire into WrestleMania? Because if everything is solid at WrestleMania, the builds, good or bad, can be forgotten about. Because people at the end of the day only truly remember the matches. They don't really remember the builds. The matches are what are remembered decades from now when we look back at this event. That's all that matters. So how was it? I would really love to start with CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, but I'm not. I'm going to go through night 1 first, and then I will go through night 2. I will keep it in order. To start with night 1, a lot of people were not happy, to say the least. A lot of people were not happy, and there were a lot of complaints about night 1. I definitely had some complaints too. I don't think night 1 as a whole was as bad as some people were saying. Like, I don't think there was any match that was like bad, like straight up awful. I definitely could say a lot of the matches were underwhelming. I even thought the main event was good. I don't think it was a bad main event. I think it was a good main event. Wouldn't call it a great main event, but I think it was a good main event. The biggest problem with night 1 it carried over into night 2, but I think because the night 2 matches were better, it didn't have as much of an impact. But the biggest problem with night 1 specifically was the ads. The ads on ESPN are ridiculous. And for the Netflix people, so the people not in the United States, they got to watch like the same Hulk Hogan clips from the Hulk Hogan documentary that I guess is going on Netflix. So that's what they watched. But us on ESPN, we watched ads, normal, regular ads. And these ads would come in between each match. These ad breaks were like 5 minutes. They would literally play an ad. Then they would, on the next ad, start the timer, which would be like 4 minutes. The 4-minute timer would run up, and then we would get another ad after that. It was unreal how many ads there were, especially when you got ads all over the ring, ads on the tables. Every match has an ad sponsor. Like, there are so many ads already. There are ads in some of the entrances. Like, I think one was Mortal Kombat themed and had Mortal Kombat on the entrance ramp. There are so many ads. I would forgive the ads, and I somewhat did on night 2, if the matches got time and were WrestleMania worthy. I would be able to forgive the amount of ads. I'd be like, okay, sure, why not? Even though we didn't have this many on Peacock ever, or the WWE Network. We never had this many ads then. It's only the ESPN era that we get so many. I'd be willing to forgive it if the matches were WrestleMania worthy and they were long. Instead, I believe some of these ad breaks were longer than some of the matches we got. The breaks in between matches were longer than some of the matches we got. I said it twice because it's egregious. The biggest example, and what's insane, is the shortest match of the entire Night 1 card was Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer. The co-main event was 6 minutes and 50 seconds long. Absolutely unreal. Now, there was a report that just came out the day I'm recording this, and these reports, some should be taken with a grain of salt, but some of them are legit too, aka the page return was very legit. There's a report saying that they kept the match short because both Liv and Stephanie were both banged up going into the match, so they wanted to keep it short. Liv looked good enough to do her entrance, that little dance routine. She was good enough to do that. I don't know. I mean, I know Liv and Roxanne bumped heads, but is that really the best excuse for the co-main event? A match that we've been building since the Rumble to be 6 minutes and 50 seconds long? I think the Pat and Randy Orton combined entrance was longer than their match. Okay, maybe it's not just them. Becky Lynch and AJ Lee was 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Brie Bella and Paige versus Nia and Lash, Charlotte and Alexa, Bayley and Lyra was 8 minutes and 35 seconds. What's funny is that those were the only 3 women's matches on the card, and all of them were under 10 minutes. The opening match was 7 minutes, but it was only the opening match. Who really cared? Jacob and Drew got to go over, Gunther and Seth did, and Cody and Randy did, but I think the Liv and Stephanie one, I think, pissed off a lot of people, and rightfully so. That was way too short of a match. And the fact that we got the short matches and then we got the super long ad breaks, they don't go well together. Like, if these matches were getting like 15 minutes minimum, and then we got somewhat long ad breaks, like, sure, okay. Like, I can go use the bathroom, do something real quick. But when you're getting really short matches, the balance is not well. So if you're WWE, I guess in the ESPN era, you're going to have all these ads. The TKO era, too, I guess we want to call it. But when you're in this era, I guess we have to accept that there will be a lot of ads. But you should not be at the same time making these matches so short. Now, the caveat should not simply be maybe there should only be 5 or 6 matches at WrestleMania so that each match can get more time. That's pretty sad if we're getting to that point, because WrestleMania used to have like 8 matches, 9, 10 for a night. Like 7 matches should be really easy to do for WrestleMania. Like SummerSlam, I think there were like 6 or 7 per night. Carla and I were there, but none of them truly felt that short. Now, that Tiffany and Jade match was really short. That was weird. I'm going to pull up the SummerSlam card right now from this past year and do some comparing and contrasting. So, here we go. Where are those results? There they are. Okay. SummerSlam. Let's look at SummerSlam right here. Look at this. Night 1, this was this past year's SummerSlam, and it was on Peacock. It was not on ESPN. Night 1 had 7 matches. Actually, 6, because the 7th was the cash-in, technically. But you had 4 of the 6 go over 10 minutes. 4 of the 6 went over 10 minutes. 2 of them went over 20. Roman and Jay versus Breakker and Reed was 21. CM Punk and Gunther was 30. The Drew Logan Randy Jelly Roll match was 17. Alexa and Charlotte versus Judgment Day was 13. Tiffany and Jade was too short. That was only 7 minutes. But still, you had multiple matches go pretty long. Night 2, there were 6 matches again. Every single match on night 2 of SummerSlam was over 10 minutes long. Every single match. The first one was 16. Naomi and Rhea and Io. Second one was the 6-pack ladder match. 16 minutes. Third one was Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. Let's do some comparing and contrasting, everybody. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria in a 6-match card was 25 minutes. WrestleMania 42, Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee was 8 minutes. Not good. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu went 12. Dominic and AJ went 10. Cody and Cena went 37. That's a 6-match card, and all of them got at least 10 minutes to do their thing. Even night 2. I don't think night 2 was as bad, but in night 2, every match was, aside from the main event, 4 minutes, 15, 7, 10, 10. Very short still. Still very short matches. Like literally, you can just compare SummerSlam and WrestleMania night 2 in night 1. So maybe 6 is the lucky number. Maybe you only do 6 per night, because at least at SummerSlam, each of the 6 matches got ample time. So maybe that's what they do for WrestleMania. But even then, night 2, still, they were pretty short, aside from Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Like, it wasn't a great improvement. Like, Rhea and Jade got 3 more minutes than Liv and Steph. But, like, other than the ladder match, all of them were restricted to 10 minutes or under, except the main event. So if they were able to do it with SummerSlam, give the matches ample amount of time, why can't they WrestleMania? The big thing that comes to mind is SummerSlam was not on ESPN. So this screams an ESPN problem more than anything, how they put their shows on ESPN. And the crowd booed ESPN when John Cena mentioned that the first hour was on ESPN. The crowd booed straight up. So this seems like that's the problem in terms of the match lengths. Literally, you can just compare and contrast this past year's SummerSlam. And I don't want the solution to be go to 5 matches and every match can be as long as it wants to be. Like, WrestleMania shouldn't even have 6 matches on a night. But if that's what it takes, that's pretty sad. But the fact, though, that they were able to give matches ample time at this past year's SummerSlam, but they can't seem to do it at WrestleMania, is egregious. Night 1 was extremely egregious. Maybe that might just result in taking less time out of the main event. Like, Cody and Randy got 22. Even then, that's still kind of pathetic. But that match felt way longer than 22 minutes. But even night 2, maybe Roman and Punk don't get 33 if Rhea and Jade can only get 10. I don't know. And it does a huge disservice to, like, Liv and Steph. Like, a good thing is when a match that you wouldn't expect to steal the show gets to steal the show. It's always a great thing. Like, a good comparison I was thinking of was WrestleMania 39, a fantastic WrestleMania. It had 7 matches in one impromptu match. But it had 7 matches. WrestleMania 39 Night 1 had 7 matches. And there was only one match that went under 10 minutes in a 7-match card at WrestleMania 39 Night 1. Only one match went under 10 minutes, and that was a tag match. Every other match, even Cena versus Austin Theory, went over 10 minutes. But the point I'm trying to get to specifically is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, the co-main event of WrestleMania 39. They were not the main event, but they got a chance to steal the show. They got to go 23 minutes, and they had a fantastic match. They made it seem like they deserved the main event of WrestleMania 39. How on earth can Liv Morgan and Stephanie McAfee get a chance to do that when they only get 6 minutes and 50 seconds? And it's not a wrestler choice. Like, they don't just wrestle until they don't want to. There are producers that sit backstage and coordinate the match. There's a certain amount of time each match is given, and the producer backstage makes sure that happens. And that's translated through the referee into the wrestlers. So Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair got to have a 23-minute match at WrestleMania 39. And then you see what happens this year. Even Bianca and Asuka that same year in Night 2 got 16 minutes to do their thing on Night 2. Like, they get time. They used to get time. And, okay, let's use the argument that Liv and Stephanie were hurting. So maybe their time had to be shortened because of that. What about Jade and Rhea, who are actually kind of starting to cook a little bit? They only got 10 minutes to do their thing. Rhea Ripley's capable. This could have been a great test for Jade. They were starting to cook too, and they only got 10 minutes. So, yeah, the match length is a problem. I could even go to WrestleMania 40 and it wouldn't be as bad. Should we even go to WrestleMania 41? Should we? I mean, I'm spending a lot of time on this point because this was my biggest complaint of the entire WrestleMania card, was the match length and the ads in between. WrestleMania 41, Night 1 had 7 matches. They were a little shorter. I am looking at it right now. Jade Cargill, Naomi was short. New Day was short, but no one wanted to see that. Jay Gunther went 16. Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte got 19 minutes to do their thing at least. Like, that's the bigger thing. Like, the co-main event should get time. Like, the world title matches should get time. Like, they at least got time to do their thing. 4 matches went 10 minutes or higher. But honestly, Night 1's card was pretty weak in general, though, last year. Night 2, already a bigger improvement. Cena and Cody got 21 minutes. Io, Bianca, and Rhea Ripley got 14 minutes to put on match of the night. Like, they were given time to steal the show. Drew Damian 13. I mean, it's not fantastic. Night 2 either, but the cards weren't that great either. Last year wasn't a great Mania as well. Last year. Like, we got to remember that. But I think 39 is the best comparison. So, yeah. The match length was everyone's biggest problem. Night 1, it was way more affected. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing looking at Night 1. Liv Morgan, Stephanie McAfee getting 6 minutes and 50 seconds. And even if they were hurting, they were still taking big moves as well. So, I don't get it. I really don't. Let's break down each match, though, separately. The Usos versus in LA Knight against The Vision and Nice Show Speed. First off, the Usos are on like their 6th theme song right now. Like, at first, since they reunited, they were using Jay's theme. But then one week they came out to a new Def Rebel theme, and no one liked it. They couldn't eat to it, really. I think they tried to, but it just wasn't working. Then the next week they went back to Jay's theme, straight up. Then they changed it to It's Just Us, Us. And I'm like, okay, sure, just change one word. Fine. And now it sounds like they re-sung it, and now it's saying it's you and me, Oos. Day 1-ish, it's you and me, Oos. Like, First off, the simplest solution is to use their original tag theme song, the Down Since Day One-ish song, which Jey Uso's theme is a direct remix of that. And they literally did use the original theme before, recently, but then they just reverted back to Jay's. So I don't know why they don't just go back to the original. I don't know, but we're fiddling around with their theme and it's kind of funny. This match was pretty basic. I took the baby faces to win. Carlin took the Vision and Speed to win, so he was wrong. I think it was fine for what it was. I wasn't expecting much. It went 7 minutes. I was kind of hoping Speed got to do more in the match. He had some nice moves, but this was very a generic opener. The big moment was after the match ended with Speed taking Logan Paul through the table with the splash. Great moment for Speed. What does it lead to? I don't know. Maybe Speed and Logan Paul have a match at Backlash. I doubt it, but if anything, that's what it would lead to. Other than that, the Usos will probably go after the Vision for the titles again. LA Knight, who knows what he will be doing. Maybe he'll challenge Roman Reigns. I don't know. But, yeah, this was a fine match. Nothing special, though. Then we got Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. This went 14 minutes, and this was pretty fun. I won't lie. Now, did this fully feel unsanctioned? Like, oh my God. Like, unsanctioned, no disqualification, street fight, extreme rules, no holds barred. They're all the same exact thing. The only catch with unsanctioned is WWE's technically not liable for any injuries that were to happen. It's a gimmick. But this felt like a street fight, and it worked. It was fun for what it was. It didn't fully feel unsanctioned, like they were going to kill each other. Like, Drew McIntyre brought out a sword, and the sword wasn't used. But other than that, like, it was a fun match. I don't have many complaints. Maybe there could have been some blood. I don't know. But it was fine for what it was. It was fun. Best way to put it was fun. Jacob won by putting Drew through the table with the moonsault. So it was a fun match. I got it correct. Carlin did not get it correct. He took Drew. The next match that we got after that was the women's tag match. So Charlotte and Alexa came out first. Then Bayley and Lyra did. But then the Irresistible Forces, Lash and Nia, came out. And I was like, huh? Because technically the champion should come out second or last. Like, they should always come out last. They came out third. So I'm like, why are the Bella Twins coming out last? But then it clicked. Literally a day before WrestleMania, there was a report that Paige has re-signed with the WWE on a multi-year deal. WWE never confirmed it. The reports did. The dirt sheets confirmed it. So a lot of people, if you are online, you would have known that Paige re-signed with WWE. So my first thought is Nikki Bella is not cleared. The dirt sheets were also saying that she was not cleared to wrestle. So my first thought was Paige could easily replace Nikki Bella. And when Ryan and I did our predictions, I had Lash and Nia, but I made an adjustment. I wrote down, if Paige replaces Nikki Bella, I have Paige and Brie Bella winning. So I got this pick correct. Carlin did not. I believe he took the Bella straight up, but if Nikki wasn't wrestling, then he was going to take a different team that wasn't the Bellas, so he got it wrong. I never heard him say Paige or anything like that, so he does not get that. But I got this correct. The only thing with Paige coming in and winning this match, the only critique I have, first off, the match wasn't anything special, but for the past couple of weeks now, if we want to talk about the build to WrestleMania, the Bellas felt like they haven't been involved at all. Like, we were having weeks where Bayley was fighting Alexa Bliss. Charlotte and Alexa were fighting Bayley and Lyra. I think it was Charlotte versus Lyra one week. Like, we're having all these matches, the Irresistible Forces taking them out. And Nikki and Brie Bella have kind of been on the sidelines as of late because of the Nikki injury. But the fact that these three teams have been, like, a part of the build and the Bellas end up winning with someone who hasn't even been a part of the build at all. Sounds kind of weird. Like, it kind of makes the whole build feel pointless because none of it mattered because Paige ended up winning. But other than that, though, like, I wasn't mad because obviously, I mean, when I started watching WWE in 2015, Paige was still there. Paige was one of the top stars. Charlotte wasn't even in the W. She was in NXT at the time. So I grew up watching Paige initially. And she obviously had the terrible neck injury that happened at a live event and was forced to retire. She made her return to wrestling in AEW and had some success there, but I don't think she's been on TV that much. But she made her return in AEW, and now she's back in WWE. And she's only 33. Like, she is still really young. She was really young back then in the WWE, but, like, she can still go for some years if she wants to. She looked great in her first match back. I wonder what the angle is here. Like, I don't think Nikki Bella is going to be out that long, so I could easily see Nikki Bella turn on Paige. Like, the Bella twins turn on her, and we get a feud there. But I see the Paige Brie Bella team up being very short-lived. They could maybe even lose the titles on Raw. I would not be shocked. But great moment. Match wasn't anything special, though. Seth Rollins Gunther, the match that did not really have a build. This was still a very solid match. I loved Seth's entrance with the eyes and the smoke coming out of him. That was fantastic. The match was very good. I enjoyed it. At first, I was scared, though, because they weren't wrestling. They were brawling. The bell didn't even ring, so I got really scared that they weren't even going to have a match. And thankfully, they did. But I was scared. So, thankfully, they had a match. And it was a very good match. It ended with a Braun Breaker interference, and I expected that completely. It makes sense because Braun and Seth are going to feud post-Mania. We're going to get a big Vision versus Seth Rollins feud. Still sucks to this day, though, that, I mean, Seth Rollins, the injury luck really hurt him because Seth Rollins would have likely been in the main event of WrestleMania this past year. Like, he would have probably been main eventing against Roman Reigns if he stayed healthy. He would have still been the World Heavyweight Champion. Seth Rollins would have been in a WrestleMania main event. Instead, he's losing to Gunther and is a feud with his own Vision. To this day, I still don't think the Vision should have turned on Seth Rollins. He should have just vacated it willingly and gave leadership to Braun Breaker. When Seth returned, there could have maybe been a dispute at the top of the Vision. I was not a full big fan of them turning on Seth Rollins and making him back to a babyface because it kind of makes it like, what was the point of all of this? Like, the big angle at Mania 41 was very short-lived. Like, if Seth returned, I wouldn't see him being at the top of the Vision for long. But still, like, I think they just wanted a big shock moment after Seth got hurt. But the shock moment also doesn't make a lot of sense because Seth Rollins beat Cody Rhodes. They were teasing the fact that the Vision would turn on Seth Rollins if he lost to Cody Rhodes. But the fact that Seth Rollins beat Cody Rhodes and they still turned on him doesn't make a lot of sense. So that whole angle still kind of irritates me. It wasn't the best writing, I would say. But it's whatever at this point. Seth's going to be in a feud with Braun Breaker. Hopefully this is the elevation of Braun Breaker. Like, that was the one thing. Like, with the Seth injury, I thought it would lead to the rise of Braun Breaker, but then he got hurt. So, and I don't think they wanted to rush the Seth-Braun match. They wanted to give it more time. So, that's why we got Gunther. And Gunther and Paul Heyman aren't fully working together, but Paul Heyman owes Gunther something, which could be interesting when I talk about Night 2. Still a very good match. We know what it's teasing down the line. I did skip in terms of the order Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. I'm just going off of my predictions here. I had Gunther winning. I was correct on that. Carlin had Gunther winning as well. Carlin got the next match correct. AJ Lee, Becky Lynch. Yeah, this match was also really short, too. It was definitely shorter than their chamber match. Their chamber match was also better. I said in my predictions, if Becky Lynch was going to retain, that means that AJ Lee is not sticking around after Mania. I think that's what it came down to, literally, if AJ Lee was going to stay around or not at Mania. Because I think Becky Lynch is ready to move on from the Intercontinental Championship. I think she's ready to compete for a world title again. I really think she is. She's been a 3-time Intercontinental champ already. Like, it's time for her to move on. But if AJ Lee's not going to be around to defend the title, it made perfect sense to give the belt back to Becky Lynch. Maybe they'll do a Becky Lynch-Jessica Carr match. Maybe that's the angle they are going. I don't know. But I think that's the logic. AJ Lee's not going to be around. She's a part-timer at the end of the day. So I don't think they envisioned her having a reign. So they gave her the moment in her current hometown of Chicago, Illinois. Let her have one title defense, and her second title defense was a loss. Plus, Becky lost in like every moment of the AJ Lee feud, so giving her a win makes some sense. I won't lie, but yeah, the match wasn't anything special though. At the same time, then we had the co-main event, which I already ranted about with its time length. Stephanie and Liv, I got this pick correct. Carlin didn't. I should also mention Ryan's picks too. Ryan did pick Jacob. Ryan picked the Usos in LA Knight. He picked Bailey and Lyra. That was wrong. He picked Seth. That was wrong. AJ Lee was wrong. And he picked Stephanie and Randy, which were both wrong too. But Stephanie and Liv, when Stephanie hit the Devil's Kiss really early in the match, I got scared. Then she hit the SVD, one of her finishers, really early too, and I was like, holy crap, like she just hit her finisher like this early into the match. Like, I got concerned early. Like, when you're hitting signature moves early in a match, like, that's cause for worry. Like, this might be short. And then the Judgment Day came out so early too, and I was like, wait, what are we doing? Like, we're speed running through this match. And then Liv won with help from the Judgment Day. Okay, like, we build this match for months, and it ends in 6 minutes. Not a fan. I mean, the match was fine. Like, I know they're capable of more. That's what hurts. Like, I think they were in a co-main event spot. I feel like they were capable of doing so much more, and they didn't. I mean, maybe they were injured. I don't know. Maybe that's why, but I think there was a lot to be desired. Maybe, hopefully, they run it back at Backlash and we get a better match. It's also funny just because the Night 2 match with Jada and Rhea felt similar, where you had two people interfering, but at least Rhea had a friend in Io Sky, and Stephanie Vaquer has no friends. So that's why Stephanie lost, because she had no friends. That's unfortunate for Stephanie. I mean, I guess who would come out to help Stephanie? I guess Io, because Io helped Stephanie one night, I remember. Couldn't Io come out again? Io doesn't care enough about Stephanie Vaquer. I swear Io came out for the save in one of Stephanie's matches, unless I'm wrong. Io's a bad friend. Yeah, this is Liv winning makes sense. She has a new theme, new music video. I don't know if I'm a fan of the song, but the song is kind of catchy. We'll see. Get back to me in a month about that. But yeah, this was underwhelming, though. A major disappointment. I mean, they had the chance with how this show was going. They had a chance to steal the show. But you can't really steal the show when you have 6 minutes to do that. So, yeah, this did not work. And hopefully they get a chance to run it back and have a better match. But I like Stephanie as a chaser more. And Stephanie, like I said last week, never even got a chance to chase for the title. Like, she kind of just won it instantly after debuting. So her getting a chance to chase the title could be fun. Liv as a champion, I think, has a lot of possibilities, especially with her Judgment Day allies. So I think it was the right move in terms of changing the belt, but yeah, the way it happened, not a fan of. Main event time. The Pat McAfee entrance might have been longer than the Liv and Stephanie match. The fact that he got his own entrance was weird. But I think they were just hammering the point that nobody liked Pat at this point. Then we got Randy Orton's entrance. It was fine. Cody's entrance was really cool. He came out with all of his past iterations. Shocked they didn't have a Bullet Club iteration of Cody Rhodes, but we know. Cody came out. It was a great entrance. They do the introductions. The fans like Randy Orton. There were some cheers for Cody, but there definitely were boos for Cody Rhodes. Rightful. I mean, like, you get it. He's going against a lovable Randy Orton. But no one there liked Pat, which was expected. And before the match started, Pat and Randy had a sneak attack. Then Cody took out Pat McAfee with a crossroads jelly roll, put Pat McAfee through a table. Crowd loved it. I mean, that all was great. Like, love or hate the Pat angle. Like, I thought the beginning was very fun. It takes out Pat McAfee so we can get Cody Rhodes versus Randy one-on-one, even though we know what happens later. That was a great sign early on. I got some fans back on Cody. The match went 22 minutes. It felt longer than 22 minutes. The first half of the match was really slow. But they were telling a story. Now, if you're also not online, and if you were not listening to the commentary, you wouldn't know that Randy Orton was potentially hurting going into this match. There was some report from Dave Meltzer, whoever, that said that Randy Orton was hurting going into WrestleMania. It wasn't clear what body part or anything, but there was a report saying that he was hurting. And Michael Cole emphasized that before the match even started. Like, it was after Pat McAfee got taken out. He mentioned that Randy Orton was potentially hurting. So that's the story they were telling for the first half of this match. And it was very similar to the last time Cody and Randy fought. Cody Rhodes was working a body part of Randy Orton. This time he was working the back. Now, I could see why some people thought maybe a double turn would have happened, because Cody Rhodes was working as the heel in this match. Maybe they anticipated the boos for Cody Rhodes and the cheers for Randy. So they had Cody Rhodes working as the heel in this match, not just doing heel things, but like the heel is usually on the offensive early, beating down the babyface, and the babyface makes a comeback, and then we get into the third act of a match. Cody Rhodes was the one beating down Randy Orton. He was beating him down, working his back, doing moves that Randy would do, the stomps that Randy would do, Cody Rhodes was doing. He did the power slam, he did the DDT. Like, he was working as the heel. And Randy Orton had the babyface comeback. He would do the multiple clotheslines, the power slam. But they were telling a story. They were. And the story for most of the match did not even involve Pat McAfee. But it also didn't, like, fully involve the 2009 Viper Randy Orton being back. They were telling a story that Randy Orton was hurt going into it. So, but then the match picks up. I can see, like, why people are a little confused with the story of this match, because it was a little all over the place. I won't lie. Because, like I just said, like 10 seconds ago, the story going into the match was Randy Orton is now letting in the voices, but the first half of the match wouldn't really tell you that. The first half of the match was Randy Orton was allegedly hurt, and Cody Rhodes was working that. Cody Rhodes listening to the voices in his head, going to that level. But then the second half of the match picks up. Randy hits an RKO. Cody hits an RKO. Randy hit a crossroads. A lot of great moments in the second half of the match. I was really intrigued. But then we had a moment where they're punching each other back and forth. And I believe one of the punches was the punch that made Cody's eye swell shut. It was right before Randy Orton RKO'd the referee. One of the punches injured Cody's eye. But I digress. The referee gets RKO'd. Randy tries low blowing Cody, And then Cody returns the favor with a low blow of his own. And some people are like, heel, heel, heel. I didn't think that. Like, I think it was more Cody going to do whatever it takes to win. Cody Rhodes, for the past year or so, has always had an edge. He's never been the goody two-shoes. He's shown that he's willing to go to whatever length. The John Cena match at SummerSlam, he showed he was willing to go to dastardly lengths to beat John Cena. He showed that. Kevin Owens, he's willing to Alabama slam him through a ladder, which, I mean, probably led more to his neck injury. Like, Cody Rhodes is willing to go to that level. Cody Rhodes showed it here. Like, he wasn't proud of it. You could tell it in his face. He wasn't proud to low blow Randy Orton, but Randy was going to do it to him, so he didn't return. It was desperation, like we saw night 2. Then he goes for the top rope Cody Cutter. Randy Orton hits an RKO, and all of a sudden, Pat McAfee in a referee outfit comes out. And at first, like, everyone's groaning, like, oh my God, Pat McAfee again. Like, we're going to ruin it. Cody kicks out. He could have said maybe Pat could have kicked or counted fast. But then again, does Pat McAfee even, like, what would have happened if Pat counted to 3? Like, would that have counted? You could say TKO would have allowed it, but even then, you don't fully know. Then Randy RKO's Pat in a great moment, and Cody Rhodes crossroads Randy Orton for the win. I was genuinely surprised. Carlin was also genuinely surprised when that happened, because I think most people would have bet on Randy Orton beating Cody Rhodes. Most people would have bet on that. And it didn't happen. Cody Rhodes retained. And that means Pat McAfee is out of the WWE for good. And I'm recording this after watching Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show. It's still on right now on my TV screen, but I listened to the first 10 minutes. And Pat McAfee was kind of saying, like, first off, he has the neck brace on still. But he was saying, like, thank you, WWE. Like, I'm done. Randy Orton RKO'd me. I guess the business doesn't need saved. Cody Rhodes, like, he gave his flowers to Cody Rhodes as well. He gave his flowers. I think right now, as I'm talking, he's talking about the Roman Reigns match on his show. I'll listen to that afterwards. But even then, like, a lot of people thought Pat McAfee would get involved in the Roman match because Pat put out a tweet kind of saying that Roman Reigns would finish the job after Randy Orton. So some people thought, like, TKO angle. I don't know. But after the match, though, Randy Orton punk kicks Cody Rhodes. I bet that's what they'll attribute the eye injury to. But it makes you kind of question, one, where's the story going now? Like, are they going to try to get the story back on track here? Like, was Randy punk kicking Cody their way of putting the story back on track? Like, okay, we have desperate Randy Orton right here with the voices. Like, we're back to that version of Randy Orton with no Pat McAfee. Like, are they trying to fix the course we're on? If that's the case, then what even was the point of Pat McAfee? Like, what even was the point of all that if he's not even going to be around post-Mania? What was the deal with the contract on SmackDown when Pat signed the contract and there was something specific in there? Was that to allow Pat McAfee to be a referee? I don't know. Like, it seemed like there was more that they were teasing with the Pat and Randy thing, and it seems like they are just moving on from it completely. Unless Pat is lying. I mean, heels can lie. It wasn't like, it was a verbal agreement that he would leave pro wrestling forever. It wasn't like written in the contract that we know of. It was a verbal agreement. So Pat could always lie. But it was almost like, what was the point of all that? Like, was it just to sell more tickets or to get more eyes on WrestleMania? Like, I guess that's Pat McAfee's involvement, was just to sell some extra tickets. But the story's a little confusing. I thought personally, like, it's very rare for the loser to be standing tall at the end of a WrestleMania night. I couldn't tell you the last time a loser of a match stood tall. I really couldn't tell you. So it was kind of weird for Randy Orton to be the one standing tall. Like, it didn't feel like a WrestleMania ending angle. Like, I think a lot of people thought the punt would return when Randy Orton won the championship. Like, he would beat Cody Rhodes with a punt kick. But he did it in a post-match angle. I don't know if it fully worked for me, the whole angle. Like, it didn't, like, leave a great taste. Like, I think the show would have ended better with just the shock of Cody Rhodes retaining. And you can just think, what next? Like, Randy's got to think about it. Instead, he kind of comes off as a sore loser. Like, he lost cleanly. He might blame Pat McAfee for his loss, but then it kind of just makes Randy dumb. Like, you're listening to the voices, but then you listen to Pat McAfee. Like, I don't know. The whole thing's messy. The whole feud's messy, so maybe they're trying to just course correct. I don't want to overanalyze it until SmackDown, or maybe they reference it on Raw. I don't know, but I mean, I thought the match was good, though. Was it slow? Yeah, but I thought they were telling a story. I mean, I don't think Randy Orton's going to put on 5-star matches. Cody can. I just don't think Randy can anymore. Like, Randy's not like a 5-star wrestler. He's a very old school wrestler. So I think that's more of a Randy thing than anything. But it seems for now that Pat McAfee's done. Then again, anything could happen. Night 2. Oba Femi defeated Brock Lesnar. Hallelujah. I'm going to go a little faster for some of these because I've been talking for a long time. Oba Femi defeated Brock Lesnar. And the singles match just went 4 minutes and 50 seconds. But honestly, in terms of match length, I think this was perfect. Because Brock doesn't do long matches. He doesn't. Very rarely does he do a 10-minute match. But this was everything it needed to be. It made Oba Femi look strong. The crowd loved him. The crowd in night 1 was not great. It wasn't. They kind of reacted to Cody and Randy. But other than that, there weren't a lot of strong reactions. They reacted well to Paige. But other than that, like, the crowd was fine in night 1. I thought they were way better in night 2. Speaking of the crowd as well, before I even forget it, and I'll mention more things that I kind of forgot about. Night 1 was 50,000 people. Night 2 is 55,000 people. That's way less than last year, which last year had like 60,000 and 62,000. But even then, that's not even as strong as the typical 70 to 80,000 people crowds that WWE gets. Like, 70,000 is like the normal number. My SummerSlam, the one that I was referencing at the beginning of the episode, was like 60,000 people for a SummerSlam. Like, night 2 was filled. Like, the only empty seats were just behind the stage. Other than that, it was a filled crowd. So the fact that my SummerSlam crowd was more filled than WrestleMania both nights was kind of sad. Not going to lie. Now, the ticket prices were probably higher, so it's probably not like they lost money. But I know last year was really successful. They probably didn't make as much as last year, because at least 60-something thousand with the ticket prices that they are. It's probably better than this year. So, yeah, I mean, it's concerning. Saudi Mania will probably be successful no matter what the attendance is. So I don't think we'll be complaining about attendance numbers next year. But that was a big focus of concern, was the ticket prices and how crowded the place would be. Night 2, the crowd sounded well. They loved Oba Femi. They loved him. I loved him. And Brock Lesnar put him over. I think the match was perfect. Brock got enough offense in. He hit some German suplexes. Oba Femi was doing his offense, and Brock hit him with an F5. Oba didn't like even completely no-sell it. Like, he looked affected by the F5, but then he got back up quickly and chokeslammed Brock and then hit the fall from grace. Pinned him straight up. 1, 2, 3. Oba Femi won. It was perfect. I mean, it was absolutely perfect for what it needed to be. The crowd loved it. Oba winning was the right call. If Oba lost, it would have done a lot of damage to Oba if Brock won. I thought the match was perfect for what it needed to be. Oba Femi's a top star. He's 27 years old. If he is not a world champion by WrestleMania, or if he does not win the Rumble next year, then you are messing up big time. He's 27 years old. You should be giving him that Roman Reigns big dog push. Just strap him to the moon. He should be a WrestleMania main eventer by next year. I think he should be. I think it's the time to start pushing some of these younger guys into main event spots. You're only going to have Punk, Roman, Cody for however many years you got them. Oba Femi you're going to have for at least the next decade, and then some. Same with Braun Breaker. Same with Javon Evans. Javon Evans you'll probably have for another 2 decades, if everything goes well. Trick Williams too. You're going to have these guys for a long time. These guys are your future. Oba Femi is probably at the top of the list for the future. Like the stars to build on. Oba Femi is at the top of that list. The crowd loves him. The strut is popular. The Oba Femi strut is popular. He's popular. He's very good on the mic already. But you even just have to think like how much better he's going to get. Like he's only 27. He hasn't even hit his peak yet. By any means of the word, peak. Like Oba Femi is going to get so much better. And I'm here for it. Completely. So I can't wait for what they do next with Oba Femi. And I'll theorize it a little bit later. But the other big shock was Brock Lesnar taking off his boots and gloves. Looked very emotional. Hugged Heyman. It looked like a retirement. It looked like that was it. But is that it? My gut tells me no. Now, if Brock Lesnar did retire right then and right now, I would be fine. Like, if Oba Femi was his last opponent, like, I don't think anyone would complain at all. If Brock Lesnar putting over Oba Femi was his last match, I don't think anyone would complain at all. I wouldn't, too. And that'd be huge for Oba Femi. A bit of me still thinks that that's not it for Brock. But I think it's a huge indicator that his time is coming to an end. Because when you do that, you put your gloves and your boots in the ring, that either means you're retired or you're nearing that point. The only reason why I say that is because The Undertaker did that at WrestleMania 33, and he would still wrestle for another 3 years after that. Like when Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker, Undertaker put his coat and hat in the middle of the ring, and it seemed like he was going to retire. And Roman Reigns was able to say for a long while, like, I retired The Undertaker. But The Undertaker came back and wrestled some more matches. So it doesn't mean that you're fully retired. It could be, and WWE never confirmed it too. They said it's unclear if Brock is retired or not. They don't fully know. So my thought is that SummerSlam is still the perfect spot for Brock Lesnar to retire. I think that was his last WrestleMania match against Oba Femi. I think that's his final WrestleMania match right there. I don't think he's going to wrestle at WrestleMania 43. I don't see it. I think Brock is done with WrestleMania. SummerSlam is the perfect spot. First off, Brock Lesnar, you could call him Mr. SummerSlam. A lot of his top matches happen at SummerSlam. He's main evented countless SummerSlams as well. His best match with Roman Reigns was at SummerSlam, the last man standing match. Argue with me if you'd like. I think that was their best match. But SummerSlam is also in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is the hometown of Brock Lesnar. It is the hometown. He is from Minnesota. And I think that it would be a perfect spot. Though it does say his Wikipedia he's from South Dakota, but they always associate him with Minnesota. He played for the Vikings. He was born in South Dakota. He attended high school. Well, yeah, it's kind of odd. But he transferred to the University of Minnesota. He was born in South Dakota, but I know he lives in Minnesota. So Minnesota is his hometown, technically. So SummerSlam is there. Gunther also said to Paul Heyman, you owe me a favor. I bet you that Gunther will want to retire Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. And Gunther might threaten Paul Heyman, might threaten to injure him and force Brock Lesnar out of his quote-unquote retirement so that Gunther can put him down for good. I could easily see that be the route for SummerSlam. And that would make Brock Lesnar a babyface. But if that is the end of Brock Lesnar, if that Gunther match doesn't happen, thank you, Brock. Very controversial person, obviously, with the outside reasons. He was gone for a reason. But you gotta give credit where credit's due. He put over Oba Femi in a massive way. Brock Lesnar in his last years put over people. He put over Roman Reigns in their feud. He let Roman Reigns win, have both title belts, let Roman Reigns win that feud. He put over Cody Rhodes while going out. Didn't put over John Cena, but oh well. But he put over Oba Femi. So he's going out, putting over people. And allegedly, Brock Lesnar handpicked Oba Femi as well for WrestleMania. So give credit where credit is due. Thank you, Brock Lesnar. If that's it, then he had a fantastic career. I mean, multi-time world champion, main evented multiple WrestleManias, most of them against Roman Reigns. But Brock Lesnar is a legend no matter what you think of him. So I still think he's got that Gunther match in him to retire at SummerSlam. I think that's his last WrestleMania match, though. If he ends his career there, too, I would not be mad. And then we got, after that, a fantastic ladder match. Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, Rusev, JD McDonough, Rey Mysterio. What a fantastic ladder match this was. This went 15 minutes, and it was perfect. This was so much fun. I thought everyone had their moment to shine. JD McDonough took crazy bumps. Rusev took a crazy bump. My only complaint was the fact that when we came back from our 5-minute commercial break, Rusev, Dragon Lee, and JD McDonough were already in the ring. We didn't even get to see their entrances, which I don't think has ever happened at WrestleMania where we don't get to see someone's entrance. I don't think that's ever happened at WrestleMania. Apparently, Dragon Lee had some cool wings, too. I've never seen that. So, shame on ESPN for that. Shame on them. We got the fact that we missed 3 entrances. I don't even care if it's JD McDonough. He's at WrestleMania. He deserves an entrance. That's my only complaint of this match. Other than that, it was fantastic. I thought it was either going to be Penta or Javon Evans winning. My pick was Penta, and I was correct. I mean, the spots were insane. The Mexican Destroyer through the ladder. Oh, my God. Javon Evans with some crazy OG cutters, one on Rusev. Even though Rusev kind of jumped off the ladder for the move to happen, but still was awesome. Everyone looked great. I think Javon Evans has a massive future in the WWE. He should be a champion of some sorts this year. Be foolish for him not to be. He's got so much potential at only 21 years old. He's only 21. He's about to be 22 in 9 days. So he's about to be 22 years old. He's related to BFAB as well, if you did not know that. But he's about to be 22 years old. He's 6'5". He's later, but he's 6'5". He's got so much potential. Like I said, Oba Femi's at the top of that list in terms of like top stars to build on. Javon Evans could be number 2. And I love Trick Williams as well. And I love Braun Breaker. I think Javon Evans has so much potential as well. But I don't think it was his time to win the title. Penta just won the title. Penta is also so over with the crowd, too. It's great to see. He's great on the mic. Fantastic entrance. I thought it was the right move for Penta to retain. I mean, when Penta debuted, I said on Nico's podcast, Beyond the Mat, shout to them, like, strap him to the moon. Penta. And I still stand by that to this day. I mean, Penta's 41, so it's not like he's going to be at the top for so long. Then again, Rey Mysterio is like in his 50s, and he's still going, so who knows? But I think this is Penta's prime right now, and I would not stop that under any circumstance. Keep Penta as champion for as long as you can. Shout out to Rey Mysterio, man. Rey Mysterio is 51 years old, and he is still going to this day. You got Brock retiring, AJ retiring, John Cena retiring, and you got Rey Mysterio putting Rusev through ladders. It's hilarious to even see. But shout out to Rey, man. Shout out to Rey and Brock. If Brock is retiring, Uh, Shout out to Ray and Brock for avoiding Gunther, because a lot of people thought Gunther was going to fight Ray at this Mania, and Ray was able to avoid the retirement match. And if Brock's retiring here, then he gets to avoid the Gunther match too. So shout out to those two guys as well. Kind of funny. Before we get to the next match, overall, though, that ladder match was fantastic. I forgot to mention John Cena and Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is pregnant. She is having a baby. Seems like she's a couple months in. Montez Ford and Bianca Belair are having a baby. Congratulations to them. The fan part of me is a little upset just because, God, Bianca Belair has been out with an injury for over a year now with a finger injury. She literally just got surgery again on that finger. She's been out for so long, and she's probably going to be out for a while longer because of this, obviously. But then again, I would say if you are going to be out for a long time, this is probably the best reason to be out. It's like a happy reason to be gone from wrestling, to have a baby. So congrats to them. Sucks that we won't get to see Bianca Belair anytime soon, but I mean, it's like I said, it's for the best reason to be gone. But I did think, though, after that was announced, and I think they did it on night one for this reason alone, was to essentially eliminate her from any conversation of being Jade Cargill's next opponent. So I think this also made it very obvious Rhea was going to win. I didn't change my pick, but I think they did that strategically too on night one. So congrats to Bianca. Don't know when we will see her next, but her and Naomi's babies, they might be superstars in 20 years. Who knows? We'll see. It is funny that both Bianca Belair and Naomi both got pregnant while they were about to feud too. So congrats to them, though. What else happened? I'm trying to stay in the order of the matches. Then we got Trick Williams with Lil Yachty versus Sami Zayn. I did take Sami Zayn to win with the double turn happening. The double turn didn't officially happen, but I think we're on the teetering point of the double turn. Sami Zayn was booed, obviously. Trick Williams was cheered. Trick had a great entrance with a long robe. Looked like a giant roll of toilet paper, but still. Trick's only 31, too. He's got a great future ahead of him. Lil Yachty's only 28. They're good together. Lil Yachty and Trick Williams, I think, work very well together. I don't know if Lil Yachty's going to be around long term, but if he is, I would not complain if he's Trick Williams' manager. You need more managers anyway in the WWE, so I wouldn't hate it at all. If he's a super fan and he wants to travel one day a week, I don't hate it. Or even at just the bigger shows, he goes with Trick Williams. I don't hate it. If that's a pairing going further, I don't hate it one bit. So this match was shorter. Maybe I would have liked to see it go a little longer. It was only 7 minutes. I do kind of wish this match was a little longer. But it got the job done in terms of it showed that Sami Zayn was desperate. Trick Williams was able to capitalize through heelish ways. Lil Yachty interfered. But then Sami was able to counter back, and then Trick got the victory with the trick shot. So it was kind of a legit win, but Lil Yachty did help him. I did have Sami Zayn winning because I thought the double turn would happen. I think that's being saved for SmackDown. Like, Trick Williams is technically, I guess he's more of a tweener now, more than anything. Like, I wouldn't even call him a heel anymore. Like, he's a full tweener at the moment. Like, I wouldn't call him a full babyface because he's acting like a heel still. But I'd say he's a tweener. Sami Zayn's still technically a babyface, though he might be a tweener now at this point, too. So, like, it doesn't matter if you're being booed or not. Like, that doesn't change if you're a babyface or a heel. But it's just how you act. So I think they're both probably tweeners now. We didn't get a double turn. We got a tweener turn. So, but I think this was fine for what it was. Don't think it was anything bad. It was too short, but it wasn't bad, though. Trick winning was good. Then we got more ads, and then the Demon, Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. The ads were enough time for me to drive to Carlin's house. This match went a little longer. By longer, I mean 10 minutes. I'm not getting back into that rant. But both of them had really cool entrances. I love Dom's entrance with him on being carried on the chair. That was awesome. The throne. The king of the luchadors. Demon Finn Balor is always a sight to be seen. This was probably the easiest prediction, though. It definitely was, because if the Demon lost this match, the Demon and Finn Balor would be dead. I mean, would be. The Demon lost his past 2 matches, one to Edge, which does not age well to this day, and to Roman Reigns during his title reign with the rope breaking. So the Demon needed a win. The Demon got the win. The Demon kicked out of 2 frog splashes. It was fun for what it was. I hope this ends the feud. It might not, though, because Dom could say, like, oh, it was the Demon. It wasn't you. So I could see this feud continue. I would prefer to see Finn and Dom move on, but I wouldn't be shocked if this continues. But it was a good match. They had some nice moments. It was a street fight. It was a Demon showcase. Wasn't bad. It didn't... these past 2 matches didn't slow down any of the momentum from the opening 2 matches. So that's not bad. Then we got more commercials, and then we got Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. Rhea Ripley coming out second, I did not like. The champion should always come out second. So Jade Cargill coming out first kind of sucked. It kind of made me think Rhea Ripley was going to win even more. These two, for the time they were given, though, like, it was only 10 minutes. They should have had more time because they were actually kind of cooking a little bit. I thought this was one of Jade's best matches of her whole career in WWE. I think this was one of her best matches. Like, she and Rhea, I think, were kind of cooking a little bit. Like, they were hitting some cool moves. It was a fast match, but I thought they had great chemistry. Like, I would not hate to see them run it back with more time. That's the exact same thing with Liv and Stephanie. Like, I would not mind seeing them run it back again with just some more time, because I think they were having themselves a good match. Jade Cargill even pulled out a one-winged angel, and I think that surprised everyone in the internet wrestling community. If you don't know what the one-winged angel is, that is the finishing move of Kenny Omega in AEW, and it is also Kenny Omega's one-winged angel is also one of the most protected finishers in all of wrestling, and by that I mean no one kicks out of it. I think only one person is kicked out of it. Kenny Omega kicked out of it himself when Will Ospreay used it on him. Kicked out at 1 in an incredible match. There's so many great AEW matches that are like free to watch on YouTube. I highly recommend, like, if you just want to watch some good matches, like, look them up on AEW's YouTube. They're free to watch. Like Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. There's so many great matches. Shout out to Kenny Omega, though, in AEW. Great product. But Jade pulled out a one-winged angel where you have the person over your shoulders and he slammed them down. And Rhea kicked out, so I was pissed. That should be her finisher. That should be Jade's finisher, not the Jaded. The one-winged angel. They called it the Sandstorm on TV, but that should be her finisher. Be a great finisher. But then Io Sky came out. Even the odds, that's her appearance. We did not get Io Sky versus Asuka. Unfortunate. We had Tiffany Stratton on the SmackDown before Mania, which sucked too. But they probably would have only been given 5 minutes anyway, if we were being completely honest with ourselves. But Rhea Ripley wins. Great counter from the Jaded finisher into the Riptide. They cooked. Like, if you gave them 5 more minutes, it could have maybe stolen the show. They were cooking. I hope they get a rematch, actually, a Backlash. I would not mind it. I wouldn't mind Backlash just being a bunch of rematches, like Liv and Steph and Rhea and Jade just running it back straight up. Wouldn't mind it at all. Match was too short, though, only 10 minutes. But the main event got a lot of time, which is what makes me a little mad. Like, the main event gets so much time, but the women's matches don't. So it's like, how can the women even get the chance to steal the show when they're not given enough time to? But I digress. I already did my rant on that. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. Not the biggest fan of some of the weeks of their feud. Roman taking a month off, hurt. Going into this, I thought CM Punk should have won this match. Going out of this match, I still think CM Punk should have won this match, but I'm not as mad about it because the match was incredible. I'll talk about the match first, solely. The match was incredible. I mean, 33 minutes. I think it's a 5-star match. My only complaint about the match was that Roman Reigns used steel steps. Like, he used the steel steps as a weapon and hit CM Punk, which should be a disqualification. They did this with Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar not that long ago. Cody Rhodes used the steps on Brock, and they didn't call for the DQ as well. So this was similar. I guess you could maybe say it's the main event. The referee's not going to disqualify Roman. And maybe he was just giving some leniency. Or maybe like he was already pissed off with Roman and maybe afraid of Roman, afraid to disqualify him. So maybe that's it. That was the only critique I have of the whole match, was that Roman Reigns used steel steps, and that technically should have been a DQ. Also, the referee, too many times. My only complaints are about the referee. The referee would not count to 10 enough. Like, there were too many times where Roman Reigns and CM Punk were out of the ring, and the referee should have been counting. He could count slow, I don't care. But there were too many times where he wasn't even counting. Like, he was just standing outside with them. Like, start the count, buddy. Start the count. Other than that, I thought the match was perfect. I thought this match was absolutely perfect. There were great near falls. The CM Punk low blow was fantastic. They told a story in this match from what they've been teasing in the weeks leading up to the match about getting inside one another's head, using each other's moves. CM Punk wearing the Ula Fala, mocking Roman Reigns constantly. Roman Reigns even mocking CM Punk sometimes. Who was in control, but also just the fact that the match went on long and just testing CM Punk. As the match got on longer, CM Punk got more desperate. CM Punk had to resort to low blowing Roman Reigns to try to win because Punk was slowly starting to get gassed. And it got to the point where Punk might have went for broke too much, trying to be like the old Punk by jumping through the table, something he has not done in a very long time. Jumping through the table to take out Roman, but that cost him. It took too much out of CM Punk. He hit the GTS, and Roman bounces off the ropes and back on the CM Punk. Something, by the way, that happened in the CM Punk John Moxley match in AEW, and something that happened in the CM Punk Seth Rollins match. So every member of the Shield did the GTS, bounce off the ropes, land into CM Punk's shoulders. Every Shield member did that, which is kind of funny that Roman, Seth, and Mox all did that. But every Shield member also pinned CM Punk recently too, because CM Punk goes for the second GTS, but he collapses. Roman Reigns realizes it. Wish Roman maybe sold it a little more, but not mad at all about it. Not mad at all. Roman spears Punk. Punk's not down yet, though. He tries swinging at Roman, but he's got nothing left in him. Roman does the super spear, goes across the ropes twice, and spears Punk for the win. Roman only pulls out that super spear at WrestleMania, where he runs across the ropes like twice or three times and spears his opponent. He did that to Cody at Mania 39. He did that to Triple H. He did that to Undertaker. That's like the super spear that you only get at Mania, where like it's over. When Roman Reigns does that, it's over. It's a super spear. But Roman Reigns wins. He's the champion. There were no shenanigans. There were no Pat McAfee shenanigans. There were no Usos. And I didn't think the Usos needed to come out after what happened on Raw when CM Punk actually did apologize about Sika. That should have, and it did, eliminate the Usos. But the fact that no one interfered made this match perfect. They were able to have a classic. It's very reminiscent of Cena and Cody. When no one interferes and you let them have a classic, it delivers. I think this is one of Roman Reigns' best matches of all time. I think this match helps Roman Reigns' legacy more than anything in his title reign, because Roman Reigns did it on his own. He didn't have Paul Heyman. He didn't have the Usos. He didn't have Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns won a championship on his own, because I think a lot of the doubt in the story was and a lot of what Punk said was Roman Reigns can't do it without help. He needs help the whole time. The fact that Roman Reigns was able to do it on his own proves so much to his legacy and his character that he's just that guy. Now, does that make for a great story? It's too early to tell. But I think one angle that could have worked so much was Roman Reigns losing, with the acknowledgement that he did need his family. Because for his entire title run, for a lot of the matches, most of the matches, especially all of his last matches, he needed some kind of interference to help him win. And Roman Reigns also never apologized to the Usos for the torment he put them through. He never apologized to Cody Rhodes for insulting Dusty. And CM Punk acknowledged that all during this feud. And with Roman winning, he's kind of off the hook because he's just that damn good. Like, Roman technically doesn't need to apologize because he's that guy with or without the help. So that's kind of why I still wish Punk would have won. Because Roman's now, like, he doesn't ever need to apologize anymore to anybody. He really doesn't need to. Like, there's no reason for Roman Reigns to ever apologize to the Usos. Because he kind of proved, like, I'm that guy. I don't need Paul Heyman. I don't need the Usos or Solo Sikoa. Like, I can win on my own. But then it's like, why didn't he during his title reign? So that's like my only conflicting thing with Roman Reigns winning the title. I get why they did it. But it kind of lets him off the hook for anything he did during his Tribal Chief days. Like, he's just that guy. Like, the life lesson is that you don't ever need to apologize. Because if you're that guy, you never need to. You can do whatever you want. But if you can back it up, you might as well be that guy and do whatever you want. So that's kind of why I wish CM Punk won, because then you could have went into that angle of maybe Roman having to reflect on himself. But now he really doesn't need to. Like, he really doesn't, because he proved, like, with or without the bloodline, I'm the GOAT. So in that case, it does, like, rise Roman's stock so much. Like, he is that unstoppable guy. I think it's a wait and see with Roman. Like I said, I think the better story was him losing than winning. This feels very much like Roman's a top star. He's a money mover. We just need him back at the top. You know, it's funny, during the post show, when Roman was talking, he's like, I'm the reason why TKO is here and doing all that. And the crowd booed. And Roman Reigns was kind of like shocked when the crowd booed. And they were chanting FTKO as well. And Roman Reigns was a little shocked and like, are you not with the program that we don't like TKO? So that was kind of funny. I won't lie. But that's why I think Roman's the champ, because he's a top star. But it's almost like I still to this day would have had Punk win, because, like I've just been saying though, Roman Reigns too, even before WrestleMania, his last singles match was a loss to Bronson Reed. Like, I didn't think he had a lot of momentum. Like, he's very confident going into WrestleMania, saying like, the business needs me again. And like, I'm here to save the business. Starting to sound like Pat McAfee. Like, I'm going to take this business back to where it was. Like, he was very confident going into WrestleMania. But because he won, like, he has every right to be as confident as he wants to be. Like, he's just that good. Like, Roman Reigns is just that good, apparently. So, like, he's a top star. He's getting that push. Thankfully, the match was really good, because I'm willing to forgive a lot of what I just said, because the match was really good and they told a fantastic story. So I'm willing to forgive a lot of these critiques because the match was fantastic and we don't know what his title reign is going to be. Roman did confirm that you're going to see a lot of him during the summer. We are technically not in the summer yet, But so maybe he's taking a break. I don't know. He's going to be on Raw. So ideally, if he's going to be around during the summer, we should get an active Roman Reigns. He should be defending at every PLE up until SummerSlam. So it makes me wonder, like, is this just like a 4-month title reign through May, June, July, and August? Like, is that what we're getting here with Roman Reigns? Like, are we going to get a full-time run with Roman Reigns in the title? The Summer of Roman? Like, is that what we're getting here? Then he takes his break after SummerSlam. I'd be down for it completely because I think there are a lot of great opponents for Roman Reigns. Like, you got the Vision, Logan Paul again, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed if he comes back quickly. Seth Rollins is also a top match. Seth Rollins has never lost his belt, but he's probably got vision problems right now. There's the match that I guess I'll say right now, Oba Femi. Oba Femi called out Roman Reigns. It was mentioned when Roman Reigns was speaking on the post show. The fans were literally chanting, Oba's going to kill you. So Roman Reigns had to respond. That's a SummerSlam worthy main event. Oba Femi versus Roman Reigns. That could, if Roman Reigns is holding the title until SummerSlam, I'd have him drop it to Oba Femi at SummerSlam. Like, Oba's your future. In terms of guys who are at the future, Oba Femi's number one. I would not mind it one single bit if Oba Femi won King of the Ring and challenged Roman Reigns. Would not be mad one single bit. So a Roman title reign, if he's going to show up consistently, doesn't even have to be weekly, just consistently during the summer, I would be down for it because I think there's a lot of potential. Maybe you have him lose it quickly, and then he has to do that reflection that I've been saying that he needs to do. But I mean, Roman Reigns is on God mode right now. He's at the top of his game. He was proven right the whole time. He proved Punk wrong. I mean, it really legitimizes Roman Reigns' character. Like, this was the biggest win of his career because he proved every doubter wrong storyline-wise. Like, he can't do it without help. He needs his family. He needs a wise man. Like, in storyline, Roman Reigns doesn't need anyone. Roman Reigns is on God mode, literally, because of this win. Like, I think it's the biggest win of his career. Straight up. Because I think this is a win that legitimizes so much of what he's done. Because he won on his own as the big dog. He did have help during his Tribal Chief run, but the fact that he beat CM Punk proves that he can still do it on his own. No matter what character he is, whether he's a babyface or a heel. So, I think this win is huge for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has an incredible legacy. 11 main events, and the past, 5 of those being bangers. 2. Mania 39 with a bad ending. Mania 40, both of them. Mania 41 and Mania 42 were all fantastic main events. And it might not be a crazy take to say that this was the best one out of those 5. Mania 40 is tough to argue against. But I think this was better than Mania 41. I think just as a pure one-on-one match, I think this was better than WrestleMania 40 because Mania 40 had shenanigans. It had The Rock, it had The Undertaker. It had Cena. It had the Usos. So it had Seth Rollins. It's tough to beat Mania 40 for the moment, but I think as a pure wrestling match, this was one of the best of Roman Reigns' entire career. I think this is one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time. I think it's debatable. I think this match will spark a lot of debate in terms of where it lines up with a lot of other main events. I think it's one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time. Not sure if it is the best. Probably isn't. But I think of recent years, it's one of the best. So props to Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns has just grown so much as a wrestler too. Like, he was never the greatest wrestler as the big dog. He was respectable. He had some great matches. But he was never that complete package. I think he just became so much better as the Tribal Chief, as a wrestler. And he is one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. He really is. So Roman Reigns is that guy, and just props to him, man. Like, obviously, like, he's a part-timer now, but he's put in the work for years. And when he has to deliver, he still can. Like, last year, WrestleMania was one of his best matches. This year, one of his best matches ever. So, give credit to Roman Reigns. He has an incredible legacy, and I hope he doesn't take any breaks during his title reign, or else a lot of people will be very mad, including me. But Roman Reigns is a legend. But CM Punk is also a legend. But CM Punk, since returning to the WWE, even in AEW, he was putting on bangers. But since returning to the WWE, the feud with Drew, the feud with Seth, the match with Roman, the matches with Finn Balor, like, CM Punk hasn't lost a step. At 47 years old, he is still fantastic. 2 bangers of WrestleMania main events from CM Punk. Like, he is still that guy. One of the best in the world. I mean, he is the best in the world. That's his thing. CM Punk is incredible. And I think this, like I said, this match helps Roman Reigns' legacy. This match equally helps CM Punk's legacy. This will be a standout CM Punk match. When you look back at CM Punk's career, yeah, you have the Cena matches, but I think this will be another one that you look back on for CM Punk's career. Fantastic match. Also, their entrances were both fire. Roman coming out with the opera singer, but then his original Tribal Chief theme song, too. Not the new one he's been doing, but his original Tribal Chief theme song. That made me think this match was over. But CM Punk, too, the video package before, then him coming out to nothing, taking in the moment, saying it's clobbering time, and then the music starts, I thought was a perfect entrance as well. I mean, it was a perfect main event. Aside from, like, some tiny nitpicks, it was a perfect main event. I still would have had Punk win, but I'm willing to forgive it because they told a fantastic story, and the match was incredible. 5 stars. So overall, with WrestleMania 42, I've been going on for an hour and 27 now. That's insane. But overall, Night 1 was a 6 out of 10. It was above average at best. Night 2 was an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Night 2 carried Night 1. Overall, give the whole show an 8 out of 10. But Night 2 carried a lot of it. Night 2 carried a lot of it. CM Punk, Roman Reigns being a 5-star main event really helps Brock Oba, the ladder match. The rest of Night 2 just being steady as well. Night 2 carried. I think it's the best PLE of the year so far. There's only been 3. I do combine WrestleMania 42 as one PLE. I know it's 2 nights, but I combine it as one. So I think WrestleMania 42 is the best PLE so far this year, though it's been a low bar because the Chamber and the Rumble were both 7 out of 10s. Shout out to Carlin. Carlin got every single Night 2 prediction correct. He predicted Roman, Rhea, Oba, Trick, Penta, Finn Balor, but he got 4 wrong on Night 1. So Carlin got 4 wrong total. I got 5 wrong total. So Carlin technically won the predictions. So congrats to Carlin for that. Ryan on Night 2, he got 1, 2, 3 matches wrong on Night 2. So Ryan technically did the worst of the 3 of us combining both nights. But thank you to Ryan for predicting as well. Thank you all for listening to this episode. This was a long one. Ideally, I will have Under the Lights out on Wednesday. I'll discuss Monday Night Raw. Ryan might be there for that, maybe. We'll discuss the Raw after WrestleMania specifically. We'll discuss the NFL Draft as well, because that's this week. 2, the NHL and NBA playoffs are currently happening right now. That'll be pretty much the bulk of the Under the Lights episode on Wednesday, ideally. So check that out. Follow our social medias, our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all of that. Follow our social medias as well. Oh, I just said that. It's an hour and 29 minutes. I'm starting to lose it here, but thank you all for listening to this very long episode. I am John Dodaro. Have a great day, everybody, and see you next time on Inside the Dome.